afternoon from Los Angeles and welcome to Stock Market Today, sponsored by Interactive Brokers. On the show, of course, we're going to break down today's market action. A lot to talk about here. Also going over the charts of AMD, Mercado Libre, and Roku. Let's talk about the major indexes. A very strong day across the board. The Nasdaq finishing at session highs, up about 2.2%. The S&P up about 1.9%. Dow also logging a strong gain. But I mean, what whipsaw action we've seen this week.
Right. Well, it's like the sky was falling Monday, and
right.
then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we actually saw pretty bullish sessions for the market each day. The Nasdaq on Tuesday up better than 1%. Wednesday, yesterday, it was down 1.7% intraday. It reversed all the way higher for a gain of about 0.4%, and then a gain of 2% today. So we're still early in the stages of a rally attempt here, but I got to tell you the action in leading growth stocks, the IBD 50 today, the FFTY exchange traded fund was up about 3% at last check, and just a lot of good action in software stocks. So there are reasons to be optimistic here, especially with the Nasdaq above the 50-day moving average and the 8,000 level as well.
Now I think the question is, can we hold support here?
Yeah,
right?
well, that'll be the big question. Nice percentage gain for the S&P 500 today as well. But again, this is one of these days. Sometimes we're wondering which stocks we're going to talk about for the stock market update, but there were just so many stocks breaking out to new highs today. It was actually pretty convincing action. And
growth stocks really taking the lead on that,
That's
which is
right.
good to see for our type of investing strategy.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at AMD, which gained over 16% in heavy volume today, gapping up on its news of a new server for data centers and landing Google and Twitter as customers here.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that we heard from earnings from AMD, and this is one of the few chip makers that had been acting well. Chip equipment firms doing well, but semiconductor stocks had weakened lately. But Advanced Micro Devices, they reported earnings recently. They gave kind of soft sales guidance, and that brought sellers into the stock. But AMD gaps up today. They introduced a new faster server chip for data centers, and said that Google and Twitter are going to be customers for this chip. So very bullish retaking of the 50-day moving average for AMD. I think aggressive traders might have opted to buy the stock today. It did flash a sell signal from the 34.40 buy point, but certainly the conviction retake of the 50-day line today was very bullish.
Right, and important to reiterate, I think, the fact that we are still waiting for this follow-through day, and with that, it's not, unless you're an aggressive investor, not an ideal time to be aggressively buying stocks, because this market rally still hasn't quite yet proven itself.
That's exactly right. And if the rally really is to be believed, as I was talking to Ed Carson just a little bit earlier, it's likely we'll see more bullish gains. It's just really a matter of if institutional money is going to continue to come in from the sidelines. I think we've seen hints of it in recent days. And again, Nasdaq volume today looks like it's going to be a little bit lower than Wednesday. So, but it was a tough comparison. Volume was very heavy on the Nasdaq Wednesday. So, don't jump the gun. But like you said, I think aggressive traders probably have been nibbling the past 2 days, not doing anything aggressive, but just trying some stocks on for size.
All right. Well, let's take a look at Mercado Libre, gapping up and clearing a buy point here on earnings, rising over 12%. Heavy volume here as well. And it looks like we have a really strong bottom line number, acceleration of sales growth up 63% this quarter. So a pretty compelling fundamental story here with Mercado Libre, and very strong technical action today with this relative strength line.
Yeah, and this is a stock that earlier in the week was not looking very good. Like a lot of other growth stocks, it had gapped sharply below its 50-day moving average. But I think the market was really keyed in on the 63% rise in sales this time around. It was another quarter of accelerating sales growth, and clearly this company is showing that it can execute. It lost money in 2018, but it looks like we're going to get a nice turnaround in this year in 2019, and then a big acceleration in 2020. So the market could be pricing in future, strong growth.
Yeah, so I guess the only thing here is that, again, we're still waiting for the follow-through day. It is in a proper buy range, but maybe come tomorrow, optimistically, if we do get that follow-through day and it's still in buy range here, maybe a potential opportunity for investors.
There are so many stocks today that crossed buy points, and Mercado Libre is just one. Microsoft finding support at the 50-day moving average for the first time. EPAM Systems, another stock that is acting well. So with Mercado Libre, it's definitely still well within the 5% buy zone, but just want to be careful. You really want to wait for that sign of strength from the market in the form of a follow-through day. So Paul Whitfield will be explaining all that in today's big picture column, providing a really great perspective as usual.
That's right. Everyone should definitely make sure to check that out. And we also want to check in on shares of Roku, which gapped up on its earnings report today, gaining over 20%, volume up over 200% on a narrower than expected loss. And like Mercado Libre, a quarter of accelerating top line growth, up 59% this quarter. So where would the entry be here for investors? Because it doesn't look like it really ever shaped a proper pattern.
Exactly. Well, the last breakout for Roku was when it cleared a 74.45 buy point. It broke out from a base. And you can see a couple of trips down to the 50-day moving average here. The most recent trip, that's the second pullback to the 50-day moving average. So there were definitely some people here that nibbled right around the open price when it gapped up.
Right.
This is a bounce with conviction off the 50-day moving average. We like that type of action in a stock. So again, in this case, we could use the open price, maybe an aggressive entry, but with the market acting pretty well here, and Roku closed near its session high and very heavy volume. I think the open price was not a bad entry here.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the silver lining here with Monday's action and the downdraft that we were seeing before that is that some stocks were either pulling back to their 50-day lines, or even if they undercut, maybe that's setting up a new base, and we're seeing breakouts now. So I guess that's the silver lining. The silver
lining is basically, I think, what the bulls like the most right now is the overall strong action in growth stocks. Again, a really solid day Thursday for IBD 50 stocks. The Innovator IBD 50 ETF, again, at last check, up about 3%. So a lot of good action in growth stocks, a lot of good technical action, and looks pretty good. Yeah, that it does. All right, everyone, that's it for now. But before we go, we want to let you know that we do have a new episode of the Investing with IBD podcast out now. So you can go to investors.com/podcast for that. I was the guest this week and filled everyone in on our new investing strategies show. But I think the most exciting part for listeners is that Arusha and I shared our secrets about our rookie mistakes with trading. So you're going to have to check that out for all the juicy details. And speaking of the Investing Strategies show, you can check that out at investors.com/investing strategies. Of course, we have topical things on there, but we also have timeless investing strategies for you there to check out. So make sure to do that. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.